Hello everyone! I know it's been a while since anyone has heard my voice, but it's because I was avoiding recording to heal up from that horrible sickness I had, and kinda still have, but I'm better, so first, before I start, I want to thank everyone for their amazing questions. I couldn't include all of them due to spoiler answers, so I do apologize, but the ones I am including are full of amazing information that, if you didn't know before, you'll want to know now. So let's jump right in. If you're referring to the flashback story times, then yes. It won't be all the time, but I plan on including a lot of information in the flashbacks, so expect a lot more of those. Well, with Temptress's death, I saw a sort of emotional opportunity coming up for a song, and being that I had planned on writing one eventually, I figured why not now? Since Briar and Moy had their long talk to cope with their loss, and I planned on having Avery do the same, I decided to put hers into a song. So I wrote one about a year ago and pitched it to our voice actors, who, by the way, did an amazing job with the finalized version, and that's how the song came to be. I know it may have been a bit confusing, so I do apologize. With this series, you have to sort of watch for every detail and kind of keep in mind with everything that is stated and everything that's said, everything that's shown, just to connect the pieces so it makes sense. I'll go ahead and explain in detail so everything's all cleared up. So, basically, spoilers! This answer will have spoilers if you haven't watched all the episodes so far. But anyway, in episode 1, Briar and Avery come up with a plan to steal from a pack to get food. The pack is Alistair's. That plan fails. Temptress gets injured and they barely escape. In episode 2, Alistair's pack finds them after following Temptress's blood and takes Briar, Lloyd, and Avery as prisoners. But you'll immediately notice Temptress isn't with them. Then Briar, Avery, and Lloyd escape without being noticed right before Rollo starts taking Alistair's pack away. Then we skip ahead to episode 6, where it's finally revealed that Temptress managed to run away when Alistair's pack found them in episode 2, and ran to Rollo for help. So that flashback that takes place in episode 6 is what happens in episode 2, if that makes sense. Once Temptress told Rollo who attacked them and that their only son was taken there, Rollo orders an attack on Alistair's pack to save Briar, who, at this point, has already fled with Dagger and Avery, and then they meet Corlin and so on, and I hope that explains it a little bit better. So, Avery never had the typical life of being able to hunt her own food. She knows what hunting is, but isn't very experienced at it for a reason, as seen in episode 2 when she tries to go after Corlin and clearly misses even though Corlin was standing still. She also mentions in this clip,
Of course not. I mean, up until this point, we didn't even know Prey could walk and talk like you do.
So ever since she met Briar and Temptress, she's been stealing food from small packs, so the Prey has always been dead, never alive. When she met Corlin, who was clearly alive and full of personality, she got attached to her. Not only that, but being that Avery knows how it feels to be labeled as prey, being a half fox, she saw that as a strong connection to Corlin, who was always labeled as prey. When Corlin was killed, it was no different than Briar being killed, to Avery at least. This is a really good question, and now that episode 6 is out, I can answer part of it. So, during Rollo and Briar's talk, you get insight on what happened to Briar's siblings. When Memphis found out about Rollo and Temptress, which violated their pack rules, he sent assassins after Temptress, who was going into labor, and during all of that, Temptress lost the other pups in a very graphic way. I don't want to show much of it, but I had some really gory storyboards that went into detail on how the attack went down. Let's just say that they were born and alive, but when Temptress got chased, she could only carry one in her mouth, which was Briar. Not saying she didn't try to carry more, but it didn't go very well, and I can't answer any more for personal reasons. Oh, okay, so first, before I answer the question, I did want to state this. When it comes to Briar and Rollo's relationship, it has been the most difficult relationship to write, and the most difficult relationship to develop. So, yeah, I'm not going to say anything else, but I'm just going to state that before I answer the question. But anyway, Briar didn't start off hating his father until after they were forced into Memphis's pack, and even then, the hate didn't really settle in until after they escaped Memphis's pack. So, you're correct in saying that Briar did spend a chunk of his life hating Rollo, but after hearing Rollo's side of things in episode 6, rather than the rumors he was used to, he decides to change his mind a bit. Even then, though, Briar isn't completely trusting of Rollo and still has difficulties believing a lot of things Rollo says. But in knowing that his father shares something so similar with him, aka a spirit attachment, it really strengthens a small bit of trust that he does have for Rollo. I want to point out something else here, and I'm really glad this question was asked so I can point this out. You, as the viewers, are only getting one side of things right now. Even in episode 1, Temptress was giving you Rollo's side to things, stating that he has a heart, and if they wanted to go back to him, he would try to help. And I really want to point out her wording of things. She knows that he isn't all good, but she's able to recognize the good parts of him. I know it seems a little off track, but when comparing it to Briar's behavior after hearing Rollo's side of things, he's able to recognize a little bit of the good qualities Rollo has, and even though the things that Rollo did in the past weren't all that great, they had good intentions. Which is the same things his now deceased mother has been telling him for a while, and you mainly hear all of this in episode 1. So that can change someone's view on an individual in a day or two. Again, he isn't completely trusting of Rollo yet, but he has definitely eased up a bit. As for the training, that adds to the reason. Now, Briar never knew about Lloyd. He just thought Lloyd was this thing that he naturally had. It was special, but it was something that he had. Now that Briar knows about what Lloyd is, and that Lloyd is dead, he really feels sort of guilty, and ever since episode 4, you can see that Lloyd has been really determined to learn about who he is, or what he is. And all of that was kind of shut down by Briar because he was more worried about finding Temptress. Briar is really starting to realize that this isn't just his body anymore, and he feels as if he has to be fair and at least train to know more about Lloyd himself. So that definitely makes up for the not trusting Rollo all the way, and instead more so using Rollo for his knowledge on spirit attachments. I also like to look at this from a realistic standpoint. Let's just say you had a parent who you heard all these bad things about, and then you meet them and learn that not only did they have a reason behind most of those things they did in the past, but they share a lot more in common with you than you originally thought. Now, me personally, because I love to take my personal views on things and put it into the series, if that happened to me, I would definitely not really lower my guard, but I would definitely feel a little bit more comfortable with them than I did before. So, I was kind of iffy on answering this question, but I did release some art of Temptress a while back that depicted her as a pet. So, yes, Temptress was a pet as a pup, but after a tragic accident, which I'm not gonna spoil, she became a feral dog. And that's all I'm gonna say on that topic.